Hello friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Lectures. Dear friends, as you know that every Thursday we meet and we carry forward our series of lectures on our special session that is on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan. We are conducting a number of sessions, and in our previous sessions we have been discussing more on study abroad, and we have discussed about various universities in various countries and how you can go there and opt for different streams and can have a wonderful career. Now the question arises, how to apply for the different universities in different countries. So friends, what is that process? What are the points which are required to be considered while applying for a particular university or a particular country? We are going to ask all such questions in this particular session from our guest who is there with us. She is Ms. Bhavna. Ms. Bhavna is a manager with the Center for Career Development, and there she is giving her immense contribution, dealing with number of parents every day and helping them how to apply for different universities in different countries. So we would like to welcome our guest, Ms. Bhavna, once again, and would like to know from her how important it is to keep in mind the different points while applying for the different universities.
First of all, I would like to thank you for having me. It's my pleasure for me to be here and tell about the process. So, students think that application is all about filling in the details and uploading the documents and submitting the form. It's not just that. You have to keep everything in mind before applying. Which country you are applying to, which course you are applying to, what is the permanent residency prospect in that country, post study work permit kya hai us country ka. You have to keep everything in mind, and before applying you have to keep the time frame in your mind. There are certain deadlines in the process that you need to keep in mind. So there are certain common mistakes that students make. They wake up late for the process. डेडलाइन अगर 15 अक्टूबर की है तो उनको याद आ रहा है सितंबर में दैट वी हैव टू अप्लाई. It should not be like that. You have to prepare your documents. You have to strategize the entire application process with time. So another mistake that students make is they prepare their documents haphazardly. It's like last minute they are preparing their documents. They do not follow up with the counselors. LOA submit हुए, transcript submit हुए. They do not take active follow up with the counselor, and they keep on changing options at the last minute. If you are not sure about where you want to apply, you will be there for the next 3 or 4 years of your career. How are you going to survive then? So these are the common mistakes that the students make that they should not be doing. So there are certain aspects of course selection, country selection, and the application preparation. So when you are selecting some course, you need to see what the scope is, what the curriculum is. If you're going to study there for 3 or 4 years, you need to understand what they are going to teach you, what modules are there, what is the requirement of the course, what is the degree requirement, what is the academic requirement, if you are fulfilling the requirement or not. And you need to see what the majors the university are offering, what is the minors they are offering, specialization, electives. You have to be thorough in what you are going to study, what the university is offering you, and what you want to make the career out of it. So you need to be very specific in terms of the course that you are selecting, and if it fulfills your career goals and the career you want to make for yourself. Another thing that you want to keep in mind before applying is the country selection. There are numerous countries that is there for applications, be it USA, UK, Canada, European Union, or India for that matter. If you are selecting the country, you need to keep certain aspects in mind. What is the duration of the undergrad study or the postgrad studies? Where is it located? What is the temperature of the country? If you are going to be comfortable with the temperature, it's about 4 years or 3 years that you are talking about. What is the stay back in that country? Will the country will allow you to stay back and work there? Will the country allow you to apply for the permanent residency? So when you are preparing your application, you need to ask yourself few questions and then prepare a chart which country fulfills what. If you're going for a 4 year of study, you can look at US or Canada. But if you want your studies to be 3 years, precise and not that in kind of exposure, you can look at countries like UK, Australia or European Union for that matter. But if you're looking at a country which will allow you to apply for permanent residency, then you can apply for Canada, Australia. So you need to keep these factors in mind, and the research should be started a year prior to the application process. I mean, if you're in the final year, you should have started your research, the country selection, the course selection, and you should prepare a particular sheet of the country of the university that you need to apply for. Now, when your course and the country is finalized, you need to look out which university you want to go for. Is it a big university? Should it be a small university? Should it be a state university, public university, private university, or a community college? For that matter, for example, in US, there are 3 types of colleges. There are public universities, there are private university, and the community colleges. If you are looking for a small setup, if you want to go to a university that specializes in the course or the faculty, then you can look at liberal arts colleges. But you're looking at a university where you can get exposure to a lot of things, to various extracurriculars activity, basically a big setup, a big campus, then you can look at a private university. But if you're looking at a university which you can afford, where you can get maximum scholarship, then you can look at state or public universities for that matter. So there is a particular timeline of application that is into the picture when we are looking at abroad. Majorly, the application process starts in August. The US application process begins in August, whereas the Canadian applications and other countries' application begins sometime in October. So the first set of deadlines that you need to meet is the early action or early decision deadlines that lies in the first week of November. If you are looking at a university which you want to show your keen interest to the university, you need to apply to early action. And let me tell you one thing, you can get maximum scholarship when you are applying in early action. If you are looking at applying for a normal deadline, then the regular decision deadline applies to you, that is sometime in January. If you're looking at UK as a country, if you're looking at Oxford or Cambridge, or you're a medicine student, then you need to apply for the 16th October deadline of UCAS. So you need to prepare a timeline where you have to write which university, which country, and what will be the application process for it. So, I'll tell you about the particular application process in USA. So, there are 3 sets of timeline. First is early decision, second is early action, and the third is regular decision timeline. So, early decision is the contract that you sign with the university stating that if you get acceptance from that particular university, you'll withdraw your application from rest of the universities, be it in that country or be it anywhere in the world. So early decision is a binding thing. You need to apply by the first week November deadline, and it involves a contract that needs to be signed by your school counselor and your parents. Second is the early action deadline. Early action, you are of course applying early to the university. You show your keenness in joining the university, but there's no binding agreement attached to it. You are just showing that you are interested in that university. The third timeline is regular decision. It's neither non-binding and nor restrictive. You can apply to as many universities as you want to in regular decision. It's a normal application. The deadline lies somewhere in the first week of January for most of the universities, and then you get your offers or the decisions in early April or March end. So some of the universities in USA that most of the students look at are the Ivy Leagues, of course. The University of California campuses, LA, Los Angeles, Berkeley, University of California, San Diego, Davis is there, Irvine is there. The third set of universities are the universities of Texas. UT Austin is there, UT Dallas is there, UT Arlington is there. And some of the private universities like University of San Francisco and Boston University, some of the state universities like Michigan State University, Arizona State University. Now these are the major type of universities that is available in US. When you are making a list, you need to be sure of which kind of university you want to go for, what kind of setup you are looking for, if the faculty is offering what you want to study, if there is any professor that you like to collaborate with, or any research assistantship that you want to apply for. When you are researching, you need to be thorough about what the university is going to offer you and what you will be developing skills from. So you need to keep everything in mind before applying to. There are certain portals that is involved in the US process. So the most common portal is the Common Application. Almost 80% of the universities are associated with Common App. That includes the Ivy Leagues, UT Austin is there, it's now added, University of Washington Seattle is also there. So it's a common portal wherein you need to fill your basic details, you need to answer some of the essay questions, you need to add the university that you are going to apply for, you need to fill in the individual portal of the universities, and then you submit the application. Of course, it involves certain documents to be sent in a formatted manner. That involves letter of recommendations that I'll explain you later, and some of the essays that is university specific, and the Common App essay question. You need to upload your resume in some of the universities. So you have to keep in mind that the documents are also submitted by the timeline and the application is submitted by the deadline. Like Common App, there is another portal called as Coalition App. It's more or less similar to Coalition App, but some of the universities which are not linked to Common App is linked on Coalition App. Similarly, it has its own essay questions, it has its own university supplementary questions that you need to apply for. The third portal is Apply Texas. So the universities, those are in Texas, take their application by the portal name as Apply Texas. Another portal named as Apply SUNY. So SUNY is State University of New York. SUNY Buffalo is there. So if you are looking to apply for the state universities of New York, you can apply via this portal. Another portal is My Illinois. So My Illinois portal is basically for the universities in Illinois. Illinois is a state of USA. So if you're looking at to apply to any of the Illinois university named as University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign or University of Illinois in Chicago, you can apply via My Illinois. Now, the most popular universities like University of California in Los Angeles, University of California in Berkeley, Davis, Irvine, if you're looking to apply for any of the UC campuses, then you need to apply via University of California portal. Now the portal remains active for 2 months and you need to apply by a certain deadline, that is 30th November for most of the years. This year it's 30th November. So you need to fill the form, you need to write 4 essay questions, you need to mention your activities, you need to fill in the details, and then you need to supply by the deadline. There are some universities which offer financial aid in USA. There are 2 types of financial aid, need blind and need aware. So when you're applying for financial aid, you basically need to demonstrate that you are in need of some financial assistance when you're applying. You need some help to cover your finances from the university's end. Now it's kind of debatable that if a university is going to offer acceptance to a person who is asking for the financial aid, or to a person who will be paying for his own cost of attendance. So that is the criteria between need blind and need aware financial aid. So there are 7 universities and liberal art colleges. Those offer need blind financial aid. In need blind, the university treats both the candidate equally, one who is asking for financial aid and the other who is not asking for financial aid. So need blind colleges, some of the universities include Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, MIT is there, Amherst College is there, and 2 more universities like that. Whereas on the other hand, there is need aware financial aid. Now need aware is the university will take this thing into consideration while giving you any decision if you're applying for a financial aid, if you're asking for financial assistance or not. So when you are selecting your universities, you need to check if you're applying for financial aid, is the university need blind or need aware, because the decision will be dependent on that. What are the documents required for an application if you are applying as an undergrad degree? So you need to have your transcripts. Transcript is an official statement of marks that is issued by your school. That includes your 9th grade, your 10th grade, your 11th grade, your 12th midterm mark sheet and the 12th predicted scores. So it's kind of a formatted mark sheet, of course issued on the letterhead, signed and stamped by the school authorities. You need to have letter of recommendations. Now most of the US universities ask for maximum of 3 letter of recommendations. One has to be issued by your school counselor. School counselor LOR should mention all the extracurriculars and the co-curricular activities that you have done during your high school tenure. High school tenure means from your 9th grade till your 12th grade. Now if a student is applying to US and he has been the head boy of the school, he has been indulging in extracurriculars like sports is there, theater is there, and he has certain MUNs on his profile, and he has done SATs. So the school counselor should mention all these things to validate whatever the student has written in his application. So the school counselor LOR comments on your participation in the school activities. Apart from the school counselor LOR, we need to have 2 subject teachers LOR. Of course, the subject teachers should be relevant to the course that you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a business management course, you can take one LOR from your maths teacher and the second from your business studies teacher. Now, the individual subject teachers will be commenting on your relationship with the student, your academic merit, and the projects or any activities that the students had, that the teacher has done with you. They'll be commenting on your academic merit, how you are as a student, where does she or he rank you in the class. So it comments about your academic things. Apart from letter of recommendation, USA asks for SAT or ACT, the standardized test. So if you have taken it, you need to report it. But after COVID, most of the universities in USA has gone test optional. That means if you have scores, if you have taken the test, you can report it. But if you do not have your test score report, you can opt for test optional thing. So there's no disadvantage to it, but of course if a student is applying with a good SAT score, of course he'll have an advantage. So if you are planning, if you have planned well in advance about if you want to apply to USA, you should take SAT for your profile enhancement. Just like SAT and ACT, there is another standardized test for English proficiency, that is TOEFL or IELTS. So if you're only applying to USA, you can just take TOEFL test, or if you are applying to multiple set of countries, you can apply for IELTS score. IELTS is more widely accepted, whereas TOEFL is based on American English. So you have to take IELTS. Apart from that, there are essays like I discussed, an application essay, the common application essay, and the university specific essays. 70% of the universities will ask you to write essays that are very personal. You should not write generic essay. Now, if the university is asking you that describe an obstacle that you have faced in your life, you need to be personal. You cannot write that maybe I was a bad student, I could not score well in my grades, in my classes. You should not write that. You should be very personal in your approach, because they have your transcripts, they have your SAT scores, they have your academic merit in the application file. What they don't have is your personality, and you need to demonstrate how you are as a person, what your personality is, by the essays only. So just keep in mind that you are very personal in your approach towards essays. Now there are some extraneous documents that is in the picture, and that is some of the universities will ask you to provide resume. Now you have to keep in mind that you add all the extracurriculars, all the achievements that you have done in your resume, and you submit it to the university in your applications. Now, if you're applying for a post-grad, the checklist remains more or less the same. You need to apply for college transcripts. You need to apply for the provisional degree if the degree is not there. If you are a graduate of like 1 year or 2 years, or you have received your degree, you need to submit it. 12th mark sheet is there. References. Now, the letter of recommendations are involved in a post-grad application as well. So you need to take letter of recommendation from your professors who has been teaching you, who has taught you, and from the internship experiences. In undergrad there was SAT or ACT, but in postgrad there is GMAT and GRE. If you are applying for a business oriented course, if you are applying for an MBA degree, apply for GMAT, because GMAT comments on your quantitative approach. While if you are applying for a liberal arts thing, if maybe you are applying for an international relation degree, if you are applying for a political science degree, you should take GRE. So a simple question: if a student is good in maths, should he take GMAT or GRE? If you are good in quants, you should take GMAT. But if you're not that good in GMAT, in quantitative approach, you should take GRE. Just like undergrad requirements, English proficiency test should be taken. Doesn't matter where you are going. Either you are going to US, UK, Canada, Australia, any country, you need to demonstrate that you are well able to speak, communicate in English, and that is the reason you need to take English proficiency test. You need to submit your resume. Your resume should reflect the internship experiences that you have had, the kind of research that you have been doing, the assistantship that you have been doing. So you need to reflect all the academic achievements, all the academic merits in your resume.
Ms. Bhavna, we would like to thank you that you have given such an in-depth knowledge, and you have pointed out those points which are basically missed out by the students who are applying for various universities in various countries, and we believe that there is a lot more to learn from you. So dear friends, we would like to tell you all that we would be discussing more. Keep watching us, and we would be giving you more insights. Thank you.